Lord, 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 Lord. Happy holidays. I personally say do not start your locks on relax here. Do not, do not, do not. Now they will lock. They will continue the process. They will do what they need to do eventually, but I'm gonna say don't do it. The reason why I'm saying don't do it because at the end of the day, number one, your hair texture. First up, your hair texture. Your hair texture when it's relaxed is not at its natural state. And because it's not at its natural state, I feel like it's gonna affect how your locks are gonna progress and grow. So while your locks will grow, they will, do what they're supposed to do. I feel like it's best to start your locks on your natural grade and texture of hair, not your perm relaxed hair that's straight, that has no coils, that's really dead, that has no body or no volume. In my opinion, that is not the way to start your locks. The reason why I say that is because when you start your locks from that relaxed perm hair, you have demarcation growing out of your hair as you get new growth. That demarcation with the perm hair will make your ends loose. They will make them possibly fragile, weak, brittle. And as that demarcation and new texture, new hair growth is growing out with those perm roots and ends, there's a possibility you may have damage and you may have some locks popping, you may have some locks thinning, and you may just not have the best experience you want because you're not starting from the strongest grade and texture of hair. That's my opinion. Now, again, you can do it, but I'm just saying, from my point of view, it should not be done only because you're not getting the strongest texture quality of hair. If that makes any sense. When you start from your natural crown, those natural coils that God gave you that are rich and thick and full, I feel like your locks have a better chance of locking quicker. They'll be stronger, they'll be thicker, and I feel like it'll be a nice foundation to start your lock journey on. Just my opinion. Yes, your locks will do what they're supposed to do, but if you want the strongest textured hair and grades to work with to have those nice, full, fluffy, flowing locks, I think it would be great to start from a big chop. What is a big chop? A big chop is when you have a perm or relaxer, you cut off all of the permed and relaxed hair to start with the thickest quality textured hair you have on your head. I think that's important again because you'll have a strong lock foundation to start with. If your hair is thin and fragile and perm and stringy and weak, that's setting off the foundation of how it's going to grow in that support system. Just my opinion. Now, if you don't want to do a big chop, I would recommend, you wait until your perm hair grows out. What does that look like? That means all of the curly, thick hair is going to grow fully out, and that's when you're gonna start your locks. Now, why do that again? Going back to what I said, when you have perm relaxed hair and you're starting your locks, and you're starting your locks from your perm relaxed, straight, stringy, bone straight, no volume, no velocity hair, textured hair, your locks are gonna grow out with that texture. So if you start from a big chop, or if you start from letting your hair grow out of the perm and let the loose natural hair grow in, you have a stronger foundation to start with. So that's number one. Number two, I feel like if you start your hair from relaxed hair versus starting your hair from your natural coil kinky hair, the outcome is going to look different. Your locks may come out looking very, very thin, very, very long, and not very, very thick, and not very, very strong. And that can possibly be an issue for you depending on where you are in your lock journey, depending on what style you want to get, what look you're going to achieve. That can possibly be an issue for you. So if you don't want that, that is what I would recommend. Now, moving on, I have made a little list here. I'm trying to see what my list says. But thank you guys. Hopefully you guys subscribe to this video and this channel. So now I'm going to talk about some of the pros and cons. Hi, Cynical One. Good morning. Now, some of the pros of starting your hair with relaxed straight hair. You're not going to get shrinkage. You're not going to have that issue where your hair is going to possibly like just freeze up. Probably. It'll probably be longer, but I'm not sure because I didn't start my locks like that. Another thing as well, too, you're probably going to get if you start your hair from relaxed locks or perm locks versus natural hair. Hi, everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for popping through. Another thing you're gonna get possibly when you start your locks from relaxed hair versus your natural crown, you're possibly gonna feel like it doesn't look like everyone else's. You shouldn't be looking to do that in a lock journey because we just We get excited, we get thirsty, for the growth, for the buds, we get excited for those things. And you may feel like your locks don't look like everyone else's locks, and that can be a problem for you because you want to fit in. You want your locks to look like they're growing the right way. You want them to look strong. You want them to look like locks. You don't want people to think you got just curls or short simple curls or S curls in your hair. And that may be a possibility, when you start your hair from, relaxed perm hair. That can definitely be a possibility. And on top of that, you'll probably be more forced to probably cut your locks and start over again because you may not like the way they're growing out and growing in and how they look. Again, it's about them looking healthy, them looking strong, them being obviously visible to be locks, and you not having more damage in the beginning before you even start your journey. You don't want to start your journey with damage hair because it's just not going to work out. Now, granted, your hair will lock, it will coil you, it will bud, but the texture and quality may not be there. Again, to each his own. Many people cut their locks and start off all over again because of this reason. Like, you need to either cut that hair from them straight stringy parts and start all over again, or just do the big chop or wait for your hair to grow all the way out and then start your locks, because the texture is gonna follow you with the locks. Whatever your hair look like before locks is gonna follow you after and during and with the locks. So if you want your hair to look a certain kind of way, I do not recommend you do your locks, your starter locks, with relaxed or perm hair. Now you can do it, it will lock, it will do the damn thing, but if you want those strong, thick, full, aggressive, intimidating, or you know cultural looking locks, do a big chop, cut your hair off, or wait for your permanent hair to grow out, and then you start your dreadlock journey. Again, that's my opinion because I feel like, I started my hair with loose, natural hair. I had a perm. It was loose natural. I was still going to the Dominicans to get washing sets and deep conditionings and styles, and my hair was very straight. It was very fine. It was very thin in some areas. It had damage in a lot of areas, and I did not know that, and well, I knew that. I didn't know how that would trend over to my lock journey, and now here I am with my locks 5 years later. I still have areas that are super thin in the front, which comes from over processing, having a relaxer, having straight loose hair, and not having my thickest coils or thickest strands to start off with for my foundation. I feel like if I would have started from a big chop, my locks would be thicker in texture, larger in volume, than this. And I think I may start again at 1.2 and do a second or third set of locks, maybe, possibly, depending on how this set of locks goes. But yes, Wick Life, Instant Lock Life, Sister Lock Life, Starter Locks, Baby Locks, Teenage Locks, Mature Locks, Grown Up Locks, they all need the tender love and care. When they're starting from a great foundation, a nice base, a nice sound, strong look, your locks will definitely flourish. You won't have to worry about locks thinning out or popping off for no reason. That is not going to happen to you. So that's my opinion. Yes, you can start your locks with permanent relax hair, but if you do, you're gonna probably start with a lot of damage, a lot of stress, a lot of thin parts, a lot of weak areas, and I think it's not worth it. Now I see why people just say, you know what, I'm starting my lock journey, I'm cutting all of my hair, I'm cutting all of my perm off, and then I'm gonna start. Because when you start like that, the foundation is just so strong. You have so much texture and grade in here to work with that. It's a lesser chance that it's gonna go through all those things I mentioned. So if you got locks, you had locks, you know what I'm talking about. If you like this video, you support it, you can relate to it, you have a comment, please do so. Hi, The Real Samurai. How you guys doing? That's my point of view for this video. I appreciate you guys for listening. Please share this, like this, throw some comments in here. If you're part of the lock community, you were part of the lock community, let me know what you think about starting locks with perm relaxed hair versus loose natural hair. I feel like it's a good idea to go, straight, natural first before jumping into the locks, but to each his own. No hate at all on this video for people that are on that journey. I understand some people don't want to cut their hair. They feel like their head is too big, or they can't pull it off, or they're not pretty, or they're insecure. I get it. I was there. I started from loose natural hair that was somewhat damaged because I had perms and relaxers and all those kind of different things for a long period of time. But if you know, you know. I got to log out, y'all. I got to work. So peace. Have a great afternoon, great day, great evening. Happy holidays. And that's my rant on why you should start your dreadlocks on natural loose hair, not permed hair, not relaxed hair. So bye Samurai, bye Cynical One. Love you so much. Appreciate you so much. Shout out to Tihologlo, Miss Sagans. I'm messing that up, but I try to pronounce your name and I can't, so I just try to like spell it out. Have a great day, y'all. I'll be with you guys later talking about instant locks on my next live stream. Bye.